Okay, now the recording will start now. So electromagnetic signal is actually electromagnetic energy that travels in waves, and they radiate or they travel from the source. The source is called transmitter. The receiver or the endpoint is called a receiver. The electromagnetic signals, they are expressed as a function of time. Also, they can be expressed as a function of frequency. And it is the presence of multiple frequencies that enable us to distinguish between frequencies. So here in telecom, we are studying the frequency view of signal. Now, as you know, we have two different types of signals. We have analog and we have digital. Analog is constantly changing or varying in value over time, as you can see here in the analog. So the amplitude is changing. For digital, it is actually discrete values. So it is for certain time at one value, maybe low, and then at another time interval or at high, okay, over time. That's why it's called digital. These are examples of periodic signals. As you can see here, the time needed to complete one full cycle is called period, T. The maximum value is called amplitude here. This value A is the amplitude, and this is measured in volt. The time is measured in second, and the frequency is equal to the number of cycles completed in 1 second. Like the speed, you know, we measure the speed kilometers per second. Same thing is frequency, is the number of cycles per second, and it is the unit for frequency is hertz, and the equation for unit for period is T is equal to 1 over F. Okay. Okay. So here we have the period, the time interval of one cycle. We have the phase. It is a measure of the position of the waveform relative to a given moment of time within the period of a signal. So this is the phase. Now here we have some important examples how to measure or calculate the period and frequency. For this signal here, the time needed to complete one full cycle is 1 second. As you can see here, we started from 0, then we reach 0 again, so it is 1 second. So this is the period. So the frequency is equal to 1 over T, 1 over period, which is 1 over 1. So the frequency is 1 hertz. The amplitude is 1, also 1 volt. For the second one here, the time needed also again to complete one full cycle is 1 second. So the frequency is 1 over T, so it is 1 again. The amplitude here is 0.5 volt. 0.5 volt. Now this one is a faster signal actually, because it has higher frequency. As you can see here, this signal is generating 2 full cycles in 1 second. So the speed or the frequency of this signal is 2 hertz because it's doing 2 cycles per second. And the amplitude is 1 because the peak value is 1. What about the the period here for this one. The period is 1 over frequency, so it is 1 over 2, so it is half or 0.5 second. The phase here is 0 because the signal is starting from 0. Also 0. Here there is some shift. That's why we have a phase shift or angle. Here for this phase shift is pi over 4 because we are not starting from 0. Okay. Okay, also we've studied about some definitions for frequency. We have spectrum. Spectrum is the range of frequencies that is contained in the signal, the whole range. And the absolute bandwidth is the width of the spectrum. Yani it can be from the range of the whole frequencies. However, what is more important for us is the effective bandwidth. It is a relatively narrow band of frequencies where most of the signal's energy is found. Okay, so it's called effective bandwidth, and this is what is used by us to transmit data. And by the way, the greater the bandwidth, the higher the information carrying capacity of the signal. Now let's come to analog signal. A human voice, as we all know, is analog. Okay. Because it's varying in loudness and in pitch. Okay. Like in speech or in music. So let's see the values. Please have a look here. I'll stop for like 30 seconds. I'd like you to see the values, try to remember them, and then I will explain it. Try to read this, please. Okay. Okay, now we have the voice, the human voice frequency is from 300 hertz to 3,400 or 3.k. But for the telephony system, we give a channel of 4K.
Sir.
Okay, I will send you also a video, a recording that I have done earlier today for the session. And also I would like to just tell you about some concepts or important questions, okay? You need also to remember that what is the difference between UDP and TCP? So you need to know that TCP is connection oriented. It is reliable, but it has the disadvantage is it is heavy. It has more overhead than UDP. UDP is faster. UDP is connectionless and it's not reliable. UDP is used, for example, for voice over IP. TCP is used, for example, for email. Okay. Also, some of the important topics. I mean, this is just example. Of course, the exam will cover everything. You need to know also about what are the benefits of VPN. You need also to be able to know the difference between repeater and amplifier. Repeater is used for digital signal. The advantage of repeater, it will regenerate the original signal. The amplifier will amplify the whole signal. Amplifier is used mainly for analog signals. Okay. Also, you need to understand about the Ethernet WAN, MPLS definition. You need also to study about your, I'm just looking over the PowerPoints while I'm talking. Okay. You need to learn about the benefit of syslog and NTP, benefits of using IPsec, firewall, server, router, access list. What is the function of router? Okay, and these definitions. Okay, now it's your chance now to ask if you have a question, please, because I have invigilation.